My dear students, today we are going to revise two chapters together. They are synthetic fiber and plastic, and another one is coal and petroleum. First of all, in this chapter we have to understand what is fibers. So threads are made up of thin strands, which are in turn made up of still thinner strand, and these thinner strands are known as the fiber. So threads are made up of fibers. A fiber is a kind of thread which is woven to make a fabric. Fibers can further be classified into natural and synthetic fiber. We all know that. Next is the polymer. So what is polymer? The term polymer is derived from the two Greek words. They are poly, that means many, and mer means units. Therefore, polymer refers to combination of repeating units. Cotton is a natural polymer known as cellulose, which is composed of large number of glucose units. Other example of natural polymers include silk, wool, cellulose, DNA and protein. Some of the synthetic polymers are nylon, Teflon, polyester and polyethylene. The two types of fibers which we can derive from plants or from animals. And there is another one which is synthetic fiber. Fibers that are formulated artificially by human beings are termed as synthetic fibers. It is formulated by joining together a chain of small units that are actually chemical substances to form a large unit called the polymer. I have already mentioned you what is the polymer. So for instance, rayon, polyester, nylon, acrylic, they are the synthetic fibers. In this chart, the classification of synthetic fiber is given. Synthetic fiber can be divided into these four categories: rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic. And polyester can be further divided into two. They are terylene and PET or PET. So rayon is formulated from natural resources like wood pulp, but still it is regarded as synthetic or man-made fiber having characteristics similar to silk. So it can be the artificial silk or the substitute for silk. It is cheaper than silk. It is also termed as artificial silk. It can be easily woven down like natural silk and can be dyed in diverse vibrant colors. It is a good moisture absorbent and comfortable to wear. So next is nylon. This is regarded as the first entirely synthetic fiber. It was formulated from coal, water and air for the first time. So it is elastic in nature, lightweight, strong fiber. So this fiber finds use in variety of purposes, for instance in making ropes, seat belts, sleeping bag, tents, etc. Next is polyester. This fiber derived its name from the combination of two commonly known words, namely polymer, having many parts, and ester is a chemical compound due to which fruits gets their name. It is durable. It is also resistant to wrinkles. They are also impervious to most chemicals. They can shrink, they are resist from stretching, and there are two types of polyester. They can be divided into terylene and PET. Terylene is an artificial polyester fiber formulated by polymerizing ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. It can be easily, minutely drawn into fine quality fibers. On the other hand, PET is a semi-crystalline thermoplastic polyester formulated from ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid with the chemical name polyethylene terephthalate. We also use PET water bottles. Acrylic is lightweight, soft, warm and has resemblance with wool. It is impervious to moth, oil, chemical substances and extremely resistant to worsening from sunlight exposure. Here I am only mentioning some important characteristics. So go through each and every characteristics that I have mentioned in my previous videos. Characteristics of synthetic fiber: they are durable, inexpensive, their tenacity makes them find use in many industries. Plastic. This is another polymer formulated from hydrocarbons available in natural materials like natural gas, oil, coal, minerals and plants, in which units are either
aligned in linear arrangement or in cross-linked arrangement. Plastics begin with the keyword poly. Poly means many, like polystyrene or polypropylene. This fiber finds extensive use in modern industry due to their resistance towards corrosion and chemicals. They have good durability. So there are lots of characteristics which make them unique. We must not forget that excessive use of plastic is not good. Plastics can be classified into two categories. They are thermoplastic or they can be thermosetting plastic. These thermoplastics, this category of fiber gets easily deformed on exposure to heat and can also be easily bent. They can be melt down easily. That is why we use them in making toys, electrical insulators. Next is thermosetting plastic. This category of plastic once solidified during the molding process and cannot be softened back. Because unlike the thermosetting plastic, they have the cross-linked polymer. That is why they cannot revert back to their previous state. Some of the examples are bakelite and melamine. Characteristics of plastic are non-reactive, they are durable, they are poor conductor of heat and electricity. Teflon is a plastic with unique property. They are also used to make several medical instruments. Next is biodegradable versus non-biodegradable materials. Materials that are organic and hence gets easily decomposed by organisms are termed as biodegradable waste. But the materials that are inorganic and hence cannot be decomposed by any means are termed as non-biodegradable waste. They persist in the environment for a long time, thereby polluting the environment, such as plastic, metal, glass, etc. Okay, you will find there is a table given in your textbook. Decaying time is also mentioned there, so go through that. Side effects of non-biodegradable material, we all know that those are the pollution creating materials. So we must not use them. You all know that how the animals get choked by these plastics. The biodegradable materials cannot be collected separately and can be reused after proper treatment. They can be recycled. This is termed as 4R strategy, which means reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. It can be done by us only. We have to be conscious towards our environment, as now we know how harmful plastic is for our environment. So stop asking plastic bags when you go for shopping. Instead, carry your own jute or cotton bag. Also revise the chapter coal and petroleum. So as we know, nature gives us everything, like the air we breathe, water we drink, food, sunlight, minerals, etc. are given by nature. So these are termed as resources. But nowadays, man can make their own resource. So they are termed as man-made resources. And the things we can derive from the nature, we call them natural resources. Man-made resources undergo several processing developed by human advancement and technology. For instance, natural wind is of no use until they are processed to get wind energy with the help of windmill, which is made by man. Natural resources can be further categorized into two types. They are inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible resources. Inexhaustible natural resources means it is a natural resource that will never run out. It will not be depleted and will continue to exist forever, such as water, sunlight, tidal energy, ocean energy and wind energy, geothermal energy, etc. On the other hand, exhaustible resources are those resources which are present in limited quantity and can be completely used up by human activities are called the exhaustible resources, like coal, petroleum, minerals, wildlife, etc. What is fossil fuel? Fossil fuel refers to the deposits of organic matters. They are formulated from dead plants and animals under several thousand feet of slate.
That means they are actually exposed to high heat and pressure deep inside Earth's crust over millions of years, and hence they are fossilized. That is why they are called the fossil fuels. And they are also non-renewable energy sources. Coal, crude oil or petroleum, natural gas are the example of fossil fuel. Next one is the classification of fossil fuel. We can categorize them into three, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas. What is coal? It is a black colored hard substance. It is composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and minor amount of sulfur. Alright, so there are so many type of coal. They are anthracite, bituminous and lignite. Anthracite is the hardest coal. Coal undergoes industrial processing to derive some useful derivatives like coal, coal tar and coal gas. Next is formation of coal. We can summarize the formation of coal into these stages. They are forest cover in low-lying wetland areas. Then what happened? Some natural calamities like flood, earthquake, etc. destroyed those forests completely. Plant becomes dead. Dead plants are compressed as more soil deposit over them. Dead plants encounter high temperature and pressure as compressed slowly, and then they convert into coal. Coke is hard black colored porous derivative of coal. It is the purest form of carbon with less content of impurities. Used in fuel in metal industry for manufacturing steel and extracting many metals. Next is coal tar. It is nearly black, thick, viscous liquid. It is extensively used as a starting material in industries for manufacturing synthetic dyes, explosive drugs, paints, perfume, photographic materials and many more. Earlier, coal tar were extensively used for metaling roads, but nowadays bitumen has replaced coal tar to serve this purpose. Next is coal gas. It is a gaseous mixture of hydrogen, methane and carbon monoxide. It was first used for lighting the street lights in London and New York. But in present era, it is used as a source of heat. Here I am only mentioning few characteristics, but go through all of the characteristics from your book and follow my previous video. There are several uses of coal. It can be used as a fuel in many industries, in thermal power plant to generate electricity, to produce heat to cook food. In earlier days, coal was used to produce steam in railway engines to make them run. Petroleum is a clear, green or black colored oily liquid. It can be either thin like gasoline or thick like tar. It is a mixture of petroleum gas, lubricating oil, diesel, petrol, paraffin wax and many other constituents. Due to its wide range of use, it is also called black gold. Petroleum is also a fossil fuel. Let us find out the steps, how it formed. Sea plants and animals die. As they die, their body settle down at the bottom of the sea. With the passing of time, they get compressed due to layer of sand and clay deposited over them. Under high pressure and temperature in absence of air, these dead plants and animals slowly gets converted to petrol and natural gas. Petroleum consists of several constituents, as mentioned above, so that they need to be separated from the crude oil by a series of processes. This process of separation of wide variety of constituents of petroleum is known as refining of petroleum. It is carried out in petroleum refinery. We use petroleum in the form of gasoline or petrol, and it is also used in manufacturing detergents, fibers, polyethylene and man-made plastics. Natural gas. It is a crucial fossil fuel. It is clean and non-toxic energy source. it is very convenient to transport through the pipelines. When it is stored under high pressure, then it is termed as CNG, natural gas in the form of CNG used in cylinders. It is also used for power generation, and it can also use as fuel for automobiles and vehicles. We all know that excessive use of fossil fuel is leading us towards the global warming. It causes acid rain. So, we must take some initiative to conserve the natural resources. PCRA gave us some instructions to follow to conserve our limited resources. They are: drive at a constant or moderate speed, turn off engine at traffic lights, or whatever you have to wait for a while. So all of this thing we can maintain and we can save our earth. We still have time. You will find this table in your book. Go through the use of the various constituents of petroleum. It is very important.